And what's up, everybody? Thank you so much for being with me on this Monday Fun Day. Monday Fun Day. Yeah, right. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't already, please go ahead and share this no matter how you are watching this or even listening to this. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, please type in exclamation point notify, all one word, just like you see it right there. It will turn on your notifications. You can always turn them off, but you can turn them on right there. And on YouTube, hit the thumbs up and also the share button. At least hit the thumbs up on YouTube for me. Hit the thumbs up, YouTube. And the same thing on Rumble. Let's go Rumble. And Getter. I need to put one up here for Getter. I need to get a Getter up here. And we're on Frank's Speech as well. Okay, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. So let's just get right into it. You know, the house of cards for Joe Biden? Dude, I mean, it really, from where I'm sitting, the Democrats are really getting ready to turn on Joe Biden. I think they said, you know what, this is just too much. We can't do this. They're gonna select somebody else. And a lot of people think that they're gonna select Michelle Obama. I don't think so. I think it's going to be Gruesome Newsom. I think he's going to be the one because he's already creating a war chest. Last time I heard, he had like $6 million in this super PAC, $6 million for Gruesome Newsom. The interesting thing is, I don't know why anybody in their right mind would want Gavin Newsom from the state of California. With that said, nobody in their right mind really wanted Joe Biden. They just hated Trump more. So, which brings us to the dilemma. They know how bad California is doing. They see the economy in California. There's a mad exodus from California. People are getting out, and and Gavin Newsom would try to have everyone believe that California is doing great. It's fine. Nope, people are leaving. He became the number one salesman for U-Haul in California, amongst other companies. So the Democrats would go with him. They're going to go with him regardless of the corruption, regardless how bad of a politician that he is. Look at Joe. They put Joe there. You think they would not go with Gruesome Newsom? And again, some people believe that it's going to be Michelle Obama. I don't think so. Because if it was going to be Michelle Obama, personally, I think she would have already been like somewhat on a campaign trail. She would have been out there like Gruesome Gavin Newsom. She would have already been out there like him. There's been no reports of her having a super PAC. I think she just likes the limelight of being rich and famous. I don't think she cares to do that. But then again, anything could change. But personally, I don't think that she's going to. Which, let me get to this first clip that I want to share with you tonight. You know, Joe Biden, he constantly went before the cameras and he was telling everybody that he never intervened when it come to them investigating President Trump. He always stayed out of it. Well, here on Fox News, you have, go ahead and split screen it, where she's talking about Joe Biden. And apparently, like, this information is getting leaked from the Biden regime. This information is getting leaked. And another thing that's getting leaked, that Joe Biden, he constantly curses at everybody, just filthy, nasty person. Come on. Look at Hunter. You think Joe Biden, you think Hunter fell far from that tree? Absolutely not. So it's completely disgusting. Well, information is coming out from the Biden regime that he actually was pushing Merrick Garland to go after Trump like this. She's going to show a lot of that right here. Listen to this.
So get this. Joe Biden repeatedly refuses to comment on the Trump indictments. He insists that he has an entirely independent DOJ. Do you remember this?
Mr. President, what do you say to Americans to convince them that they should trust the independence and fairness of the Justice Department when your predecessor, Donald Trump, repeatedly attacks it?
Because you notice, I have never once, not one single time, suggested to the Justice Department what they should do or not do relative to bringing a charge or not bringing a charge. I'm honest.
I'm honest. That was a little creepy, but not so quick. An April New York Times article titled Biden's Response to Trump's Indictment, 4 Ways to Say No Comment. He's really good at that, isn't he? Well, they have this passage buried 14 paragraphs down. They always bury the really big news way deep down, as you'll notice here. Here's the quote. he does have opinions, he being Joe Biden. In the past, Mr. Biden privately told his close circle of advisors that Mr. Trump posed a threat to democracy, and here's the big point, and he should be prosecuted for his role in the events of January 6th. He also told confidants that he wanted Attorney General Merrick B. Garland to stop acting like a ponderous judge and to take decisive action.
Take decisive action. Against who? The American people? Yes. President Trump? Yes. Joe Biden was pushing him to do this, right? Because he saw how President Trump is coming. President Trump is rising up in the polls. President Trump is beating out not only the Republicans, but he's beating out Joe Biden and everybody who's even thinking about running for the 2024. President Trump is beating them all out. So they have to do this. And see, Joe Biden knows very well that as soon as President Trump gets back in office, you see all the stuff that they're doing to President Trump right now? Do you see this? They're doing this because they know that President Trump is, when he gets back in office, it is game on. It is game on 100%. So they don't care if they're going for broke. And a lot of this is because of the house of cards is crumbling for Joe Biden.
That is stunning. Biden privately told aides that Trump should be prosecuted for January 6th, and he wanted Merrick Garland to take decisive action. That is an explosive allegation buried in the New York Times. New York Times reporters, they are quick to brag when their reporting is confirmed by a Jack Smith indictment. All you got to do is go look at their Twitter feeds. Jonathan Swan, he said this: a striking amount of the Jack Smith indictment is material Maggie and other colleagues first reported. And Maggie Haberman, here she is. Emails from this story Luke and I did over a year ago on page 24 of the indictment. They love to brag. But why are they radio silent about their own reporting that Joe Biden wanted to see a January 6th indictment of his chief political rival?
And this is really interesting. This is the communist, I call them communist government state media outlet, New York Times. You know, New York Times, they're the same ones that created that fake picture with President Trump on the cover looking down at the little kid, right? They put it out there like it was real and it was 100% fake. Everybody knew it was fake. But if you or I that love America create a meme with Joe Biden stepping on America, right? And it's like in flames, or better yet, if we create a meme where Joe Biden bent over, striking a match to light America on fire, they would say, that's not real, even though it's just a meme. That's how naive the left, how naive they are. But New York Times created that. They are the government state media. That's what you call government state media. And they actually put this information out there. They put this information out there. That's why she's reading it.
Why aren't they following up on this? And where is the press? Has Karine Jean-Pierre been asked about this? Nope. Has Joe Biden? No, he hasn't. Where is the so-called adversarial press pursuing this explosive lead? They aren't doing it.
They aren't doing it. You know why? Because the house of cards are crumbling. Last week I did a video, a little short video, showing how they're talking about Joe Biden, how Joe Biden is doing terrible. And like, I don't even know if we can even go with Joe Biden. I'm like, and I'm sitting there listening to this and I'm like, this is bizarre. It's really bizarre. You know what? I think I'm going to see if I can go back and get that, because I want to play that one more time for people that haven't heard this, because it's really something. Yeah, this is one of them right here. Look at this one. I did a little short video last week just on Facebook, but I want to play this now again, because the house of cards for Joe Biden is coming down. And you know what? The house of cards for the Democrats are coming down too. And I want y'all to pay attention to Wolf Blitzer. He's the guy sitting in the middle there, for those of you that don't know. But the two right here, this male here and the female, they're like Joe Biden. He's like terrible. Watch, listen.
The question is, how solid a candidate is Joe Biden?
How solid of a candidate is Joe Biden? He's not a solid candidate. They know that he's not a solid candidate. Joe Biden has been hard to listen to. We all laugh at him because he's talking about all the gaffes. it's an embarrassment to the United States of America. But listen.
That's the problem. That's exactly the problem.
And
what is exactly the problem?
that we don't know how solid.
Now, did y'all hear Wolf Blitzer? I'm not going to stop it again. This last time I'm going to stop it because this is a really short clip. Wolf Blitzer go, how was that the problem? How was that the problem? Just listen closely. I'm not going to stop it this time.
The question is, how solid a candidate is Joe Biden?
That's the problem. That's exactly the problem.
And
what is exactly the problem?
That we don't know how solid a candidate Joe Biden is.
We know he's not a solid candidate.
Exactly.
He is struggling. I mean,
within his own party.
It is hard to watch.
It is hard to watch. They're saying this about Joe Biden. It is hard to watch. It is hard to watch, especially when you see other nations talking about the United States of America. It is hard to watch because they are causing the country to collapse. Now, I hate to be like the bearer of bad news here, but I'm talking about what is happening and what is going on. And, you know, everything that they're doing to President Trump, you know why they're doing it? Because it's like, and I mentioned this before, many people have mentioned this as well. It's like the Wile E. Coyote going after the Roadrunner. Every single time the Wile E. Coyote fails, every single time. That's been the Democrats for all of these years. They've been failing, right? They try to go after President Trump directly. Now, what they did to the country here in the past couple of years, that's, you know what, I would have to say this like, not directly President Trump, but what they did to President Trump the past couple of years directly affected all of us. But them going after President Trump is like they're directly going after President Trump because they got to get rid of him. Let me share this one with you because this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. They don't understand why you or I would still support President Trump after all of the stuff that they made up, all of the stuff that they tried to connect President Trump with. And there's not a single thing that I believe when it comes to the left. Because remember, the left, they made up the whole
Russia.
Remember, they made this up to try to discredit President Trump, trying to say that he was colluding with Russia. And then when it came out that he was not colluding with Russia, you still have those on the left trying to say that President Trump colluded with Russia. Listen to this because they are upset because, and the number is bigger than what he's going to say. I think he says like 30-something% of the American people still support President Trump, will support President Trump no matter what. It's a lot higher than that.
He has an incredible grip on his party. I mean, there is this an immovable, 35% of folks that we have seen in polls that will vote for him regardless of anything. I mean, he said it best during his first campaign. He could go and literally
Senator Josh Hawley.
Oops, sorry.
Shoot people on Fifth Avenue and people would still vote for him. And I think that's exactly, unfortunately, what his base has become. They have become obsessed with this cult-like figure.
You hear this? They've become obsessed with this cult-like figure. Every time the left is pointing the finger at somebody else, calling them something like a cult, they're the ones that's in the cult. They see how stupid Joe Biden is. They see how corrupt Joe Biden is. And that's what happens in a cult. They completely look the other way when criminal activity presents itself. All of the criminal stuff that they said President Trump did was a lie. You understand that? It was a blatant lie. I was listening to Donalds, and he straight up made a valid point. The Democrats would have loved to have all of this evidence, all of this information that they have on Joe Biden. They would have loved to have that information on President Trump. You know why? Because then Republicans were like, you know what? The evidence is speaking for itself. But when it came to President Trump, they didn't have anything. They went on hearsay and they were making it up.
Russia.
They were making it up. But Joe Biden, they're not making anything up. With Joe Biden, they're just finding stuff and just presenting itself. You have whistleblowers, actual whistleblowers, not hearsay whistleblowers, but actual whistleblowers showing this information, telling everybody, and the Democrats want to say that we are following President Trump like he's a cult leader. Make that make sense. These are the same people that don't even know what a woman is, and they're saying that we're following a cult leader. Make that make sense.
can do no wrong. And I think Donald Trump has brought out the absolute worst in people and in our country. He's allowed people.
You hear this? You hear this? How many conservative Republican Christians did you see going out through cities and burning up vehicles and throwing bricks through windows? Talking about bringing the worst out of people. How many conservative Republican Christians did you see doing that? Zero. Nada. Zip. It was only those on the left. Well, maybe he's talking about those on the left, right? Maybe that's what he's referring to. Maybe he's saying that President Trump was bringing the worst out in those on the left. If that's what he's saying, then I agree. Because those on the left, they hate the truth. They hate America. They don't want America to be great.
Worse in people and in our country. He's allowed people to really tap into something I think really dark in our country. And he has got to be defeated this time. He is likely going to be the Republican nominee. I also believe he is likely going to get convicted of some of these crimes, and he is going to be held accountable. And so the Republican Party, the leadership, especially those that claim to be more serious leaders, are going to have a reckoning what they're going to do.
So basically, he's putting a threat out there to the Republican leaders. You know, I know he's not talking about Mitch McConnell. I think we all know he's not talking about Mitch McConnell. He's not even really talking about Lindsey Graham either. He's talking about those that are willing to stand up to these tyrants. He's talking about MAGA Republicans. That's who he's talking about. Anyone who's a leader of a MAGA Republican that's in the Republican Party that's wanting to fight for America, that wants America to prosper. That's who he's talking about. He's saying he's basically putting a threat out there to them. Listen to this one with James Comer. He's talking about Joe Biden and all the information is coming out. And you know what? There's another video where James Comer is actually saying that when they bring up these articles of, it's not articles of impeachment, but it's an impeachment inquiry, right? Where they're going to gather data. And then once they get all the data, the Democrats are going to be like, they're going to be wanting to deny it. But that's the reason why they're doing it, because they'll deny it and they'll look stupid. Not that they don't already look stupid, but they'll be denying it. But there's another video where he's saying as soon as they come out and they show more information about the Biden crime family, another indictment is going to take place. How many of y'all think that as soon as they present more evidence of the Biden crime family, that they will actually do another indictment? Put it in the comments, and we'll put the comments up after this video. But listen, how many? Just say I do, or do the hand emoji. I do. Yep. Put your hand up. Can I get a show of hands? You know, put the hand emoji in the comments, right? Put them on all of them. I'm going to look. But listen.
Well, every 2 weeks, we produce more evidence of wrongdoing by the Biden family. We produce more links to Joe Biden, and yet the mainstream media continues to turn a blind eye. I keep thinking at some point they're going to break, and we're seeing some movement from certain networks like CBS, but we still have a long way to go. But the one thing that drives me crazy is anytime I go down into a SCIF and get a briefing from the FBI, or anytime we do a transcribed interview like we did last week, you'll either have Jamie Raskin or Dan Goldman come out and tell the press complete lies.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Raskin, Goldman, and other Democrats have done it in the past. As soon as they get information, they sprint out to the cameras. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Where's the camera? They do it every time. They sprint out to the camera to lie to the American people. Adam Schiff, when President Trump just made a simple phone call, Adam Schiff took the transcript of President Trump calling Ukraine, talking to the president of Ukraine, inquiring information about Joe Biden's criminal activity, which is amazing that we're even talking about it, right? Think about it. President Trump makes a phone call. Yeah. I think it was Zelensky at the time, right? Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to go with Zelensky for right now. Zelensky. Oh, no, but it's probably like this. Zelensky. This is Trump. This is Trump. Zelensky. Can you tell me about Joe Biden? The $1 billion. You remember the $1 billion for Burisma? He had to fight a prosecutor, or you wouldn't get the $1 billion. Can we just have a discussion about it? Let's talk about it. You know, because Hunter Biden was on this oil company called Burisma Oil there in Ukraine. You're aware of this, right? And Zelensky probably, yes, Mr. President, I'm completely aware. Yes, we know all about the corruption. Well, because President Trump just inquired to know information about Joe Biden's criminal activities that were taking place in Ukraine, they impeached him. Adam Schiff got the transcript, and he said he was just doing a parody when he was literally lying what was on the paper. He lied and ran him through impeachment, ran President Trump through impeachment based on lies.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
Everything that the Democrats have been doing has been based on lies. So, of course, these Democrats coming out there lying as soon as they can. They censored Adam Pencil-neck Schiff. Raskin, he should be censored along with Goldman. Because when they come out and deliberately lie to the American people, they should be censored. They censor us, right? It's difference. They censor us on social media because we say something they don't like. But these people blatantly lying. Blatantly lying. Listen.
You'll either have Jamie Raskin or Dan Goldman come out and tell the press complete lies about what we just heard, and the press will run with it. We produce bank records. We produce evidence. Everything that I've said about criminal activity by the Bidens, I can back up with evidence. Yet one member of the House Oversight Committee on the Democrat side can come out and tell a narrative to the press, and they run with it.
Exactly. And so you know what? It's by design. They'll come out and lie because they know once the press get that information, they'll run with that information, right? Because that is the lie. That's what they want to hear. And because they like that lie, that is the lie that they want people to know, right? Think about it. Let me put it this way. And I picked up on this about a year ago that they were doing this. And, I picked up on it. I'm pretty sure all of you probably picked on it before me because you're really smart, right? So what they would do is they'll come out and they'll lie about whatever it is that they're lying about. And that's the story that goes through all of the newspapers, goes through the internet, goes through all the media, the government, state media. That goes out. The lie goes out. And then when the truth comes, they say, oh, okay, but then they'll ignore it. They'll just move on. Let me give you an example of that. Is this one here? Yep, this is it right here. This is an example. Listen, look at this. Make it full screen for me because I want everyone to see. Yeah, do that. Look at this. You see ABC? When the Devin Archer went in and testified to Congress, this is how much, and Fox News is reporting on this, this is how much time you had ABC, CBS, NBC, Communist News Network, CNN, MSSTD, or at least MSSTD talked about it for 3 minutes and 45 seconds, right? That's how much time they talked about it. But look at the point is, once Devin Archer true stories, true information started coming out, this is what they reported on it because they don't want people to know the truth. You understand that? So the truth comes out, then they say nothing. But when Goldman went out there, they had it on repeat. They had it on rerun because that was the lie. When the lie came out, they had it on repeat. Now that the truth is coming out, nothing. Right there. Nothing.
It's nearly goose eggs with the exception of MSNBC, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Then we want to figure out the Sunday show coverage of the Devin Archer transcript. And here it is, Dana. Goose eggs across the board. 0 minutes of coverage on CBS, ABC, NBC, or CNN. Zero. But let me play this for you from Kevin McCarthy talking about Joe Biden with the criminal activity that he's doing with the Biden crime family and the Republicans. Y'all need to, and you know what? I've been screaming this for the last 4 weeks now. Stop talking, get into action. Right now, it's still just a lot of talk. I want action. The Democrats will do fraudulent activity and go into action over that fraudulent activity. Russia. But the Republicans, they have factual proof, and they're still just talking. Maybe they're allowing the Democrats to scramble around and dig their own box to go in. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Listen to this.
We now find information that 16 out of 17 payments from Romania were provided to the Biden shell companies while he was vice president. When President Biden was running for office, he told the American public that he's never talked about business. He said his family has never received $1 from China, which we now prove is not true. We now have some of the most credible whistleblowers. These 10-year IRS agents who have come forward said that the Biden family has been treated differently, that what Weiss has told us is different than what Garland and Weiss has told the public. And you're sitting here today where now you have found millions of foreign money, just what the 1023 alleges they did to Biden's family. Now we found that it has funneled through shell companies. If you're sitting in our position today, we would know none of this if Republicans had not taken the majority.
You know what? Yes. And that's just it. We wouldn't know anything. If the Republicans never taken the majority, we would not know this, because the Democrats, they've been hiding it. They're complicit into the criminal activities. You know, I remember before, and you can tell me if it's changed, but I remember hearing that if someone breaks the law, let's say you driving your vehicle and you have a couple people in the vehicle with you, and they say, hey, stop over here real quick. I need to go in here and make a withdrawal from this bank. They go into the bank. You sit on the car. They said, just leave the car running. We're just going to go in. It's going to be a minute. Go in this parking spot here. They go in. They come running back out, jump in the car, screaming at you, go, go, go. You leave. Guess what happens? They arrest you too. The Democrats are complicit with all of the criminal activity that Joe Biden has been doing. They're just as guilty. They're just as guilty. There's a reason why they want to keep pouring billions of dollars into Ukraine. There's a reason why they want to do that. There's a reason why all of this stuff that's happening seems to be Ukraine is in the mix of all of it. Y'all notice that? Us possibly going into World War III, Ukraine's in the midst of it. Because we had issues with wheat and gas and other stuff. Russia, Ukraine is in the middle of it. President Trump being impeached, Ukraine was in the middle of it. Us having to deplete our U.S. military surplus, Ukraine is in the middle of it. President Trump coming back, putting an end to the war, possibly going to World War III, Ukraine is in the middle of it. Why is Ukraine in the middle of it? You've had Mitt Romney, you have Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi. All of these predominant politicians, they have some dealings in Ukraine. I'm pretty sure I'm preaching to the choir here. But it's like there's something with Ukraine other than just the corruption and probably the child trafficking. Right? That's probably the reason why all this is happening, because it's like the biggest country in the world with the corruption that's been going on. But now they're wanting to put President Trump in jail for the very same things that they've been doing in the past. Y'all know what that is? Freedom of speech. And then you hear all of those on the left. This has nothing to do with free speech. It has nothing to do with free speech. President Trump questioned. That's all that he did. He questioned what took place. He questioned what took place, and now they're wanting to put him in jail. And they said, well, he did stuff. He can ask people to look at stuff. During an election, it's like, well, can you find him? I mean, where's my support at? He can ask that question. He has every right to ask that question. But see, the Democrats, they denied President Trump was there in 2016. They said he was illegitimate. But it's okay for them to do it. Even Jimmy Carter did it. Jimmy Carter. He did it. I'm pretty sure, but I haven't seen any videos, but it would not surprise me if Obama did it. But they're not trying to indict any of them. You understand that? They're not trying to indict any of them. Let me share this one with you. This is with McCarthy. And let me say thank you to Jen on Rumble real quick. Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for that Rumble rant. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much. I do see you. And every now and then I'm glancing over and I'm looking at the comments and stuff. So I think something might be going on because I'm not sure if it's still moving or what. Let me just say that. Okay. Look like it is. Maybe not. Let me share this with you because sometimes McCarthy, like McCarthy, he's like, every now and then McCarthy will come out and he'll look like he's standing up, like he's getting ready, like he's fighting for the American people. Then he kind of flips, right? Then he kind of flips. Listen to McCarthy here. Listen to him here. Because this is the McCarthy that I like. This is the McCarthy that we need to stand up and be strong. And he's actually going to call him out because President Trump, again, they're going after President Trump for the exact same thing all of these other politicians and even some presidents in the past have done. But President Trump, he has to go to jail. Why? Because he's questioning our criminal activities. Talking about the left.
Still saying the election 2020 was fraud. There was fraudulent activity.
Yeah.
That Joe Biden didn't win.
Yeah. And I can say the same thing that Hillary Clinton says about her election that she lost. I can say the same thing about the DNC who said it about the 2016 race. I can say the same thing about those in the Democratic Party from the leadership on down about George Bush not winning, that Al Gore did. But were any of them prosecuted? Were any of them put in jail? Were any of them held with no response to be able to get out? The answer is no. So yeah, you can raise that.
Now watch. Now he's gonna like kick in. Listen to this, because this is because of what they're doing to Trump. They're actually doing this to the United States of America. They're killing our country.
Out? The answer is no. So yeah, you can raise that someone raised a question. And in America, you are entitled to raise a question. Yes. You're entitled to question whether it was honest or not. That's the uniqueness of the First Amendment. That's the uniqueness of America. But you know what? You shouldn't be prosecuted for your thoughts. And the difference here is when Hillary Clinton said it, nothing happened to her. When they said it in Georgia's election, nothing happened to them either. You know what? When the DNC...
Hey, you hear the dude in the background? The dude in the background is trying to argue with him. He's trying to argue with him. Of course, the government state media, they always try to kick in and jump in to defend the Biden crime family, the Clinton crime family, the Obama crime family. And Obama, he's the main one for all of this. All of these scandals that are coming to surface happened under his administration.
When they said it in Georgia's election, nothing happened to them either. You know what? When the DNC said it, nothing happened to them either. So stop using government to go after people who politically disagree with you. That is wrong, and that should stop now.
It should stop. But they're not going to. The government state media, and you know what? I don't understand why some of these people, they claim to be highly intelligent, and I'm talking about those in the press, right? They claim to be highly intelligent, but they can't figure out what's going on. They can't figure it out that, hey, this corruption is a major problem. Joe Biden is compromised. He is straight up compromised. He's owned and controlled by
China.
100%. And you notice they're not even trying to prove it otherwise. They're not even trying to show otherwise. But he's 100% compromised. President Trump, what they're doing is they're doing this to the American people. Listen to President Trump, because he talks about the same thing. The First Amendment allows us to question things, right? Some people say the earth is flat. You have every right to question if the earth is flat, right? You have every right to do it. Me personally, I know that we live on a sphere. The earth is round. It really is. Some people don't see that. Some people believe that the sun is smaller than the earth. It's a real thing. But the thing is, they have the freedom to think that. When they start putting people in jail because they don't think in the way the left wants them to think, that is what you call total tyranny.
But in the other case, it's free speech. This means that we cannot ever criticize or look after election. Once that happens, you have tyranny. We can't look at elections. We cannot criticize. Well, Hillary Clinton criticized, and all of these, Stacey Abrams still hasn't conceded. I mean, all of these people criticize. I mean, you would have half of Congress right now in jail. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. He is criticizing the election. And let me tell you, there's a lot to criticize, which you'll find out over the coming weeks.
See that right there? That terrifies them. So, again, and I meant to put it up on the screen afterwards. Do it one more time for me. Do y'all think they're going to indict President Trump? Because he just sit there and said, you're going to find out here in a couple of weeks. And every single time, Trump has been right. All of the corruption, everything that they were going to do, Trump has been right. Every single time, Trump has been right. All the time. I mean, the left can't stand it because he's been right so much. So y'all think they're going to indict him again? Right? I see people put their hands up there. Yep, I see people putting their hands out there. I see some right there at the top in the middle there. I think, which one is that? Which one is that? That's Rumble? Which one is that? Oh, that's YouTube. That's YouTube. Right there in the middle, people put thumbs up. I see people putting thumbs up on Facebook, right? And for some reason, yep, Rumble, right?
Isn't it terrible that a political opponent, though, can haphazardly charge you with a fake crime in the middle of your campaign in order to interfere with your time, your money, your message, and there is nothing you can do in theory to stop this travesty of justice? Isn't that?
That's, you know what, that's what it really comes down to. They're trying to bog President Trump down to where he has all of these cases, all of these court cases that he has to deal with, and money that he has to deal with. I couldn't, if they made up fraudulent stuff on Will Johnson, and there's actually some people out there on Twitter, especially on X. It's formerly known as Twitter. There's this particular group on X that they got this thread going, and it's constantly going, and they have me all over it, and they even tag the FBI in it, and they're trying to get the FBI to pick me up. And I was there that day. I was live that day. And when I was live that day, and I constantly do this, and I do it now. When I go out different places, when it's, police officers and just different things going on, I've always asked people, tag the FBI, tag the CIA. I said, tag your local police department. I've said that so many times. So I know because even that day I told them, say, y'all need to tag them, right? I had to tag them because I know that they were watching my feed. So they know what I was saying, but they still want them to come get me. So the only reason why they would come get me is they lie and make up something. I was there reporting on it. Freedom of the press. I was reporting on it. I didn't want people tearing up stuff because that's not who we are. But I understand the passion, and I understand what the U.S. Constitution says, and you have the Democrats destroying that because they put a certain group of people in jail because they were following the U.S. Constitution. What do you think about that? Let's talk about Mike Pence. How many of y'all support Mike Pence? Anybody? Is there anybody right now supporting Mike Pence? Let me look at the comments here. Is there anybody supporting Mike Pence? Anybody? Yes, no, maybe. All right. I'm looking here. Let's see. Look at the other one here. All right. I'm looking. Anybody supporting Mike Pence? Nope. I see people saying nope. Nope. Is there not anybody supporting Mike Pence? I mean, somebody. You didn't get that. Is there anybody? Nope. No one supporting Mike Pence. Look like we got someone look like we have someone spamming in the thing here. I'm gonna ask you, please stop doing it because then it gets in the way of other people trying to have a conversation here. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna ask you to stop spamming because it becomes a problem. All right. Are they still doing it? Okay. Y'all let me know if person's still doing it. And I think they're not even showing it there, but they're spamming for some reason. Look like it's been dealt with. All right. Let's put Mike Pence up on the screen. So Mike Pence was asked by President Trump to do his constitutional duty. He had the constitutional right to do so. But I want y'all to listen to what Mike Pence says, because he's going to suggest, with his words, that he wanted President Trump to overturn the election. President Trump never said that. Mike Pence had the constitutional right to send electorals back, because if there was something that was going on, if something looked out of order, he could send them back. They've done it before. Mike Pence would not have been the first one to do it, which is really amazing. But if you listen to what Mike Pence says, he's going to lie to you and tell you that President Trump wanted him to overturn it, which is a total lie. That is a blatant lie. But he's running with that lie.
President Trump was wrong. He was wrong then, he's wrong now. I had no right to overturn the election. And more and more Americans are coming up to me every day and recognizing that. And for my part, I'm running for president in part because, frankly, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution that day. But I chose the Constitution, and I always will.
Dude blatantly lied. He's blatantly lying. He's 100% lying. President Trump never even asked him to do that. But it's just like everything else. You know, President Trump said, be peaceful. They don't hear that. Let's try to cut it up and make it different. Let's try to make it different so we can get the people to believe something else other than President Trump saying, be peaceful. We are the law and order party. Disregard that he said any of that and go the opposite way. Which brings me to Mitch McConnell, which is another one. Did y'all see Mitch McConnell? Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? Mitch McConnell? He was getting heckled, right? He's another one. And you know the reason why the Republicans don't control the Senate right now? A lot of Republicans after 22, they were saying the Republicans didn't have the Senate because of President Trump. Mitch McConnell and his cronies put that message out there. But when the truth came out that it was Mitch McConnell that prevented the Republicans from taking over the Senate. Mitch McConnell, because he has ties to Ukraine as well, he straight up does. He has ties to Ukraine. I'm telling y'all, Ukraine is the center of their existence. He prevented the Republicans from taking charge of the Senate. When the Republicans were running, he refused to give them funding to help them out. He refused it. In return, the Republicans lost control over the Senate. The Republicans should have the Senate right now, without question. But because of Mitch McConnell and anyone out there saying, oh, no, it's because of Trump, you have not been paying attention. But listen to Mitch McConnell as he's trying to give this speech. And then he's trying to, talk, to Republicans like he's on the side of Republicans. Dude's a turtle.
Against folks who closed schools and then told you that teachers unions know what's best for your kids. We're up against folks who'd rather let repeat offenders walk free than get tough on crime. I'm glad Governor Beshear finally decided to come to Fancy Park.
But they're saying
it's been the first Saturday in August for 143 years. But Andy only seems to make time for you all when he's staring down Election Day. Friends, I know a little something about beating Beshear. But let me tell you, Andy makes his dad look like a Republican. Steve Beshear, his dad, thought woke was what he did from his nightmare Senate race in 1996. But Andy, he speaks liberal with a California accent.
He has the nerve to talk about someone talking liberal with a California accent when this dude is nothing but a rhino. You know what rhinos are, right? Rhinos are straight up Democrats because they call themselves Republicans, but it's in name only. But they're straight up Democrats. Mitch McConnell, he stabbed President Trump in the back. And right after he stabbed President Trump in the back, Lindsey Graham did it. Then you had Mike Pence, he did it. You had other, like Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, you had multiple ones doing it. I paid attention to something and I noticed something right when that happened. I said, you know what? Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, probably Mitt Romney, other Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, other predominant Republicans at the time. I was saying that they had a sit-down meeting, or maybe they're just passing in the hallways in Congress, but they had some kind of get-together. I wasn't there. I've been saying this, that they had a deal with Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi said, okay, look, help us get rid of Trump and we'll help you get your party back. Is this President Trump's party? Yes or no? Now, I'm not saying that President Trump owns the party, but as of right now, the leader of the Republican Party, who is that? So in return, is this President Trump's party? See, Mitch McConnell, they hate to hear that. And I talked about this on my LFA broadcast, that the Democrats, before they removed President Trump, the Democrats kept saying that President Trump has changed the Republican Party. Y'all remember that? They kept saying it. President Trump changed the Republican Party. They would go, and Joe Biden even one time said, this is not your father's Republican Party. Joe Biden even said that one time. So Mitch McConnell hearing this, other predominant Republicans hearing this saying, this is Trump's Republican Party. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Mitch McConnell wanted it back. Mitch McConnell wanted the control of the Republican Party. He's like, this is my Republican Party, not yours. And the same thing went with some other predominant Republicans. I'm talking bad about Republicans right now. They all did it. Not every last one of them, but there's a great deal of them did it. Like Mitch McConnell, y'all know what I'm talking about. They did it. They said, help with Nancy Pelosi, help us get rid of Trump and we'll help you get your party back. And that's exactly what they did. They helped. Mitch McConnell's been helping them. He helped them in 22. Mitch McConnell's been helping the Democrats keep power. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting there, I've been saying this for the longest, and many people are actually starting to see it now. Many people are starting to see it now. I've been calling Mike Pence a snake ever since that night. Ever since that night in November, I've been calling Mike Pence a snake. Watch Mike Pence now. He's out on the street in the parking lot. And this is how people are seeing him now. Because people know that he betrayed our country. You hear that? Someone said, why did you sell out the people? And he said, why didn't you follow the Constitution? And he goes, I did. If he did, then Nancy Pelosi and the other Democrats would have never changed the rules. Y'all know what I'm talking about? What everybody, with those of us that love this country, wanted Mike Pence to do, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats just changed the rules to where a VP cannot do what President Trump wanted him to do. Did y'all know that? So he's lying again. He's straight up lying. 100%. Straight Straight up lying. And he doesn't even bat an eye doing it. Does not even bat an eye doing it. You can get him off the screen. Let me share this with you before we run out of time here. You know, we live in a day and age where technology has caught up to man and about to excel past man. This is a news network out of Australia. And they're the most, I'm pretty sure there's other news outlets in Australia, but I'm pretty sure y'all have heard of them, Sky News, right? They're more conservative. They're more about, you know, on the up and up, staying on a straight and narrow, telling the truth, unlike some others around the world. But I like watching Sky News. Every now and then I'll seek them out to watch them. But listen to what they're saying, because a lot of people think that what they're getting ready to tell you, people used to say that, none of this would happen until 60 years from now. Like, then they say it's 60 years, and the next year they'll go, not until another 60 years, and 5 years to go by. And they say, 60 years from now. 10 years go by, 60 years from now. Well, that 60 years have already come and gone. Watch this.
Australia is slowly shifting towards being cash-free. More than $1 billion worth of notes have disappeared from circulation in the past 12 months. It follows the Commonwealth Bank's decision to start trialling cashless branches across Sydney. Economists say a cashless society will hurt criminals on the black market, but will make life more difficult for the elderly who rely on notes and coins.
You'll see that? So we're headed into this cashless society. And there's this organization, a 3-letter organization, start with the W and ends with an F. They want to push this one world currency connected with the United Nations. They've already teamed up. So they have this idea to push this one world currency to get every man, woman, and child to have an identification, or you won't be able to buy or sell. And a lot of people think that, this is not coming yet because we're still here, but yet it's happening. Don't shoot the messenger. I know some people want to right now, but it's actually happening right now. It's coming. Just like this one here. This is in Whole Foods. And you have like, I'm not going to play this video, but I'm just going to tell you about it. This lady here, she's checking out and she's purchasing something. And she puts her hand over the scanner. And then it pays for her whatever it is she's buying. And she says it's so cool. They're going to bring people in, and what's going to end up happening, just like the Kung Flu, they're going to get so many people to do it. And then another thing's going to happen. Businesses are not going to operate with cash. Right down the street from me, there's a sandwich shop that will not take any U.S. dollars. And people go, they can't do that. If you go in there and you want to pay with money, they have to take your U.S. currency. I hear you. But they said if you can't pay with credit, you can't pay with a card, you don't get a sandwich. You understand me? And if you call the cops are going to be, because the cops don't want to deal with something like that, but it's going to get worse. They call the cops and they'll be like, just pay with a card. That's their policy, which is basically, and I've been told it's against the law for them not to take U.S. currency. But it's happening. And it's not just a sandwich shop. It's other businesses. So once they get all these other businesses to jump on board, you're going to have to make a decision. Go with the world or believe in the Lord. You remember last week when there was a story out of Stockton where this guy went into the go split screen it for me. Let me see if I can put up here. This guy here, he went in and he was robbing this convenience store. Straight up robbing them. While he was robbing the convenience store, he was telling them back off because he was going to shoot him like he had a gun. Well, the store owner ended up taking him down and beating him with a stick. And now the stupid left trying to say that he is the victim. The guy that was robbing them is now the victim.
Man going into a 7-Eleven in Stockton and emptying shelves of cigarettes into that large trash can. The video then shows the two clerks try to stop him before hitting him with a stick more than 24 times.
You hear that? 24 times. You have to emphasize on that. 24 times. 24 times. Like, really? This dude was robbing them, and he said he was going to shoot them multiple times. But now in California, he's the victim. You can get off the screen. You know what it comes down to? Even in the Bible, in the last days, it will be like lawlessness. Just like it was in the days of Noah. There was a lot of lawlessness going on. The perversion, just like it was in the days of Lot. The lawlessness, the perversion. They said it would be the exact same way. Probably even worse. Because you're talking about Noah and Lot coming together, the craziness. Probably be a lot worse. All right, everybody. That's it for me. Let me thank everybody for joining here. And my producer, she's out this evening. Let her have the day off, right? She gets the day off. I don't. So let me see. Let me say thank you to a couple people. Kathy, thank you so much for the stars. Rodney, my man, thank you so much for the stars. Sherry, thank you so much as well. Ann, thank you. Thank you again, Ann. Susan, thank you so much. Francis, thank you so much. Donna, and again, Donna, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Again, Donna, thank you so much. And I see some people on here starting to follow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for following my page. If you haven't on Facebook, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up on Facebook. It really makes a difference. Hit the thumbs up. And again, thank you so much on Rumble for being there. Thank you so much, everybody. And I'm trying to look to see. Oh, let me ask y'all this question real quick. Did y'all see the video that I put out there? I only put it on, actually I put it on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from this past weekend with Kirk Cameron. Did y'all see the video? So if you go to my website, here, I'm going to type it in. If you go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com, and there is a short link, but it hasn't been really working. But if you go to uafreport.com, it should take you directly to it. But there's a DNS issue. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, still working. The DNS for it hasn't propagated all the way yet. But for everyone who wants to go and look at the video, especially the full thing, I'm gonna put the comment in there. Okay, I just put it on Facebook, and let me put it on Rumble. So if you go to my website and just go to try it first, uafreport.com, uafreport.com, all one word. If that doesn't work, uniteamericafirst.com/report. And I just put it in the comments, and I'm gonna put it on YouTube, and then I'm gonna let you go. For those of you, because I know some of you that are still here, you're interested and you want to check it out. But anyways, I did this video, and it shows how crazy our world is right now and how things are just getting crazier. So if you go to uniteamericafirst.com/report, we'll put it in there like that. And it'll take you to the location of watching the video. Let me just put it on YouTube here. All right, just put it on YouTube. All right, so go check it out, everybody. Go check it out. It's pretty wild, especially if you watch the full thing. There's stuff in there that I cannot even put on Facebook and YouTube because, I mean, it's wow. Just wow. Just wow. All right, everybody. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much for the blessings. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for sharing this, no matter how you're watching or listening to this. My name is Will Johnson, and we just talked about it.